Number 10. Captain America was in love with Tony Stark's mom. I don't mean Maria Stark, but what if Tony Stark's real mom was Captain America's crush, Peggy Carter? We know that Tony's dad, Howard Stark, and Peggy Carter worked close together. Not only that, but Peggy Carter was one of Howard Stark's most trusted allies. They also worked together well into Howard's career. It was not too far of a stretch to say that they might have had some sort of affair. Howard was quite the playboy, but it might have not been cheating. Maybe Maria couldn't have kids, and Howard went to his best friend to carry his baby. So that could mean Tony Stark's biological mother could be Captain America's one and only. If this is true, next time Tony's insulting Captain America for being a clean Boy Scout, he could be like, well, I got dirty with one person. Number 9. Loki is behind everything. He's the god of mischief and could potentially be the mastermind behind everything that has been happening in the MCU. If you look at everything that Loki does, it's always a well thought out plan to get what he wants. In the Avengers, he's captured on purpose so he can get onto the helicarrier, get into Bruce Banner's head, and unleash the Hulk. He also grabs the Tesseract on Asgard right before it's destroyed. Almost like he knew it was gonna happen. Like he knew if he killed Odin, that would bring back Hela, which would cause the destruction of Asgard, so he could grab the Tesseract. He knew that Thanos was looking for the Infinity Stones, so that would give him the opportunity to help Thanos get his plan in motion. But why? Loki has said that he actually wants nothing to do with Earth, but he wants to rule over Asgard. Now that Asgard is dead, maybe he wants to rule over something else. Maybe the Avengers might give him something to rule over in the universe if Loki helps save it. So Loki put everything in the toilet so he could save it, look like a hero, and get what he wants from the people who used to see him as a mortal enemy. Could be true. Very clever. Number 8. Reality shakedown. What happens when actors get too old or tired to continue portraying our favorite heroes on the big screen? Well, we're all probably gonna freak out. I feel sorry for the first guy to take over the mantle of Wolverine. He's gonna get so much hate. There's just no one who can replace the jacked man, Hugh Jackman. But the question is, how are they gonna work the role changes into the movie? We've already seen it once when Don Cheadle replaced Terrence Howard as War Machine. They did just a little joke where Robert Downey Jr. says, "I didn't expect to see you here," and Don Cheadle goes, "Look, I'm here. Deal with it." It was a super clean transition and a good way to get the characters in. But for larger characters, we might need a little more, like using the Reality Stone to rewrite the universe and bring in new actors. This allows them to acknowledge the change of personnel within the movies, so we don't just have to ignore it. Number 7. Stan Lee is an MCU god. We already know that Stan Lee is a metaphorical MCU god, with him and Jack Kirby working together to bring some of the most amazing stories and characters to date. But how does Stan's character keep popping up in different places throughout the Marvel movies? Is this just a running gag for the viewers? Or is he actually Uatu the Watcher? Uatu the Watcher is an all-powerful being who's in charge of looking over Earth and the rest of the solar system. He has the power to go into other realities. This would explain why he appears in Marvel movies that aren't owned by Disney Studios, and why in the MCU movies he pops up everywhere, from New York to planets that are a million light years away. This would make sense because there's already speculation that Jack Kirby is the Beyonder, the all-powerful being behind the Secret Wars storyline. Number 6. Nick Fury can see the future. How is he always ready? Is it because he's like Batman, or because he can sense danger with an all-clairvoyant power? Also, I understand that making a comparison between Nick Fury and Batman is an unholy crossover. Spare me in the comments, please. But it would explain a lot. He knew when to assemble the Avengers. He knew when to fake his own death. And maybe even knew that Hydra was invading S.H.I.E.L.D. and made the helicarrier program so it would unearth Hydra and Captain America could take them out. It was also very convenient that he was carrying around the Flerken in Captain Marvel. Who knows if it's true? I bet if it is true, Nick Fury will be the last one to tell anybody. Number 5. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are Infinity Stone babies. The siblings were born with a potential connection to the Infinity Stones. In the comics, their powers are explained in a few different ways. They're both mutants, and Scarlet Witch also taps into some magical energy. But in the MCU, there's currently no mutants, so many fans believe that their souls came directly from the Infinity Stones. Either that, or they have some sort of link between the stones to draw their power. It would be Quicksilver having a connection to the Space Stone, which gives him super speed, and Scarlet Witch getting her powers from the Reality Stone to shape the world around her. This would explain why she was able to match the energy of the Mind Stone and destroy it. It takes a stone to kill a stone, I think. I don't really know. Number 4. Winter Soldier Patricide. If you've seen Captain Marvel Civil War, you know the big reveal at the end of the movie is that Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, was responsible for the death of Tony Stark's parents. But what if the one-armed assassin wasn't just sent out to take out Tony's parents, but also Spider-Man's as well? The hint to this is that one of Winter Soldier's code words to turn him into a super killing machine is Homecoming. We obviously know the first MCU Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I don't have faith in this theory. On one hand, I think it would be cool to have Hydra behind multiple deaths, including Peter Parker's parents. But weaving the Winter Soldier in there, we already forgave him for killing Tony's parents. Could we forgive him for killing two? 100%, but it would feel played out. Number 3. Ant-Man has always fought with the Avengers. This kind of goes with a flat earther logic where if you can't prove me wrong, it's true. Basically saying that Ant-Man has fought alongside with the Avengers in every battle. You just couldn't see him because he was too low. I mean, maybe in a future Marvel movie, it'll be revealed that Ant-Man is one of the greatest heroes with the smallest egos because he does so much work and asks for zero recognition. What a good man. I'm gonna go on the record and say this theory is true, because you can't disprove it. Also, the moon landing was fake. Number 2. Jules Winfield and Nick Fury are the same person.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
We all know this famous scene, one of the best moments in movie history. Well, it's obvious that Samuel Jackson plays both hard-boiled gangster Jules Winfield in Pulp Fiction and the even tougher Commander of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the MCU. Well, some of you might have missed a little Easter egg on his tombstone in Winter Soldier, which read, "The Path of the Righteous Man." This is clearly a nod to the American classic Pulp Fiction. But what if it's more? What if Jules Winfield and Nick Fury are the same people? He changed his spots at one point and decided to stop shooting gangsters and protect mankind. What if the mysterious briefcase glow in Pulp Fiction is actually alien tech? This is unbelievable and far-fetched, but those are my favorite fan theories. Number 1. DC Marvel crossover. Blasphemy. Unheard of. How dare I suggest such a cursed idea? It might be true though. Think about it. We are currently in phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Phase 1 was building the foundation with the original movies. Phase 2 brought them together in the Avengers. Phase 3 expanded the universe again. And Phase 4 brought them together for Infinity War. I can only imagine that Phase 5 continues to expand. They now have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, who will undoubtedly be added to the universe. And then we'll probably see it come together again in, say, Secret Wars or Avengers vs. X-Men. But then how do you expand again? Do we go with obscure characters like Moonlight? Or does Disney reach into their never-ending pockets and buy Warner Brothers? Have Superman fight Iron Man in a kryptonite suit? Have Wolverine versus Batman? If this were to ever happen, we probably wouldn't see it for another 11 years, and by then there might be no more clean water, so no one might care anymore. Number 10. Everybody's gonna die. It's a pretty common theory that people think the Avengers are gonna lose. They're gonna go up against Thanos and then they're just gonna have a repeat of the events of Infinity War. A lot of people think by the end of Avengers Endgame, Thanos will raise his Infinity Gauntlet in victory as he smashes through the Avengers and holds the title as the universe's biggest badass. This does kind of make sense. Thanos is now the most powerful being in the Marvel Universe. Half the Avengers are dead, and Thor was really the only one who came close to taking him down. So if the God of Thunder goes down early, then the rest of them might get turned into an expert level jigsaw puzzle. Number 9. The entire universe gets restarted. So let's bump it up a level higher than before and go with the theory that the whole universe gets restarted. That means everything from scratch. All the movies you saw, all the characters you fell in love with, all the hours you spent handcrafting a Black Widow girlfriend pillow, that means nothing. If the outcome would be this, I would be so pissed off. I didn't watch 21 movies for them to pull the rug out from under me. Fans who stand by this theory seem it's backed up by Marvel purchasing the X-Men, well, Disney purchasing the X-Men and bringing it into the MCU. If you don't know, Disney made a deal with Fox to get all their movie rights, and now the X-Men can be put into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So it's almost a guarantee that they're gonna bring them in. Is this how they're gonna bring them in? I don't know, we'll find out on April 26th. Number 8, Spider Prank.
I have a sneaking suspicion that somebody down here doesn't like me.
What if Disney made an entire series of trailers that looked real, like real movies, hired real Hollywood actors, told everyone that the movie was coming out this summer just to throw everyone off the scent of how Endgame was going to end? Well, a lot of people think that the upcoming Spider-Man movie was a prank by Disney to make people think that Spider-Man isn't going to come back in Endgame at all. He's actually going to stay stuck in someone's lint trap. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this one isn't true. I don't think Disney would spend millions of dollars as a goof. Also, the fans would be so pissed. Number 7, Thanos has a change of heart. One of my least favorite things in movies is when a bad guy goes good. I hated it in Star Wars when I was a kid and Darth Vader saves Luke. I would hate it now in Endgame if Thanos brought back all the Avengers because he realized what he did was wrong. The theory is that Thanos turns to the light and saves the universe all on his own. If the movie ends like this, I'd be super disappointed. One thing that made Thanos such a good character is that you truly believe that he believes what he's doing is right. Throughout the movie, he kills a spaceship of refugees, he destroys a space station, tortures his daughter, kills his other daughter, and gives the Hulk the most savage beatdown the MCU has ever seen. This dude is evil, and when he gets his victory at the end, you're like, yeah, he kinda earned it. If he wrote a book of how to achieve your goals, I would buy it. Changing him from bad to good would really ruin the character for me, and I think for a lot of fans too. Number 6, joining the dark side. Every time a new trailer comes out, all the fans start picking away at it to try and find every little hint as to what's going to happen in the next movie. When the second Avengers Endgame trailer came out, a big one was that the heroes will join forces with Thanos. Out of all of them, I thought this one could maybe be true. Even though Thanos took everything from them, he's the only one that can bring it back. In the trailer we see flashbacks from different moments in the MCU where our heroes were happier. Simpler times where they didn't have the weight of the entire universe resting on their shoulders. Perhaps Thanos will be willing to strike a deal, join forces with him, become one of his wards, and help bring back everything that was taken from you. Maybe our heroes aren't strong enough to resist. Maybe Captain America will turn his back on everything he stands for a chance to see Peggy Carter one more time. Number 5, Army of the Dead. If Thanos has the power to wipe out half the universe, he also has the power to bring it back. So what if Thanos brought back the dead Avengers, but not to be nice, but this time to fight the remaining Avengers? A few people on the internet are going with like a Civil War Part 2 approach to their fan theories. The idea is that at some point while they're fighting Thanos, he'll pull out his trump card, which is resurrecting drones of mindless Avengers that have died to fight for him. I would love to see this because when heroes fight heroes, it's always cool. And this is also an amazing form of psychological warfare. They thought all their friends were dead and now they're back before their eyes, but they don't even get to hug them. They gotta uppercut them. Number 4, Thanos Buster Armor. Tony Stark has a suit for every occasion. Why not one for the biggest fight in the universe? Big fan theory is that Tony will build Thanos Buster Armor. Now that he's gone toe to toe with the Mad Titan, he can go back to the drawing board and get ready for round 2. Not only does he personally know more about Thanos, but now he can recruit the minds of Nebula, who's Thanos' daughter, Captain Marvel with her knowledge of the Kree technology, and Eitri. He was the guy who helped Thor build the Axe Stormbreaker. With all these minds coming together, Tony Stark has the chance to build the most epic armor he's ever created. Number 3, Thanos gets locked up. If you watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, you know about the Quantum Realm. Also know that it seems that the Infinity Stones have no effect in the Quantum Realm. So a very possible fan theory is that the Avengers defeat Thanos by luring him into the Quantum Realm and they battle it out there. This would nullify the effects of the Infinity Gauntlet and also lock Thanos away for good. This would also answer the question of what happens to the Infinity Stones after they defeat Thanos. If the Infinity Stones stay with the Avengers, it kind of ruins future movies. If the good guys have the power to instantly fix everything in the universe, every conflict feels kind of low stakes. If they lock Thanos in the Quantum Realm with the Infinity Stones, it all kind of works out. Number 2, someone will be sacrificed. The big one most of the fans are jumping on is that someone has to go. The idea is that to bring back all the lives that were erased from the universe, someone will have to put theirs on the line. If this is true, it seems like it would most likely be Captain America, because he's the Boy Scout who will do whatever it takes to make everything go right. Or it would be Tony Stark, seeing as he said he would only stop being Iron Man if he dies. Also, Tony has an insane amount of guilt in his heart after Peter Parker disintegrated in his arms. And I think Robert Downey Jr. has been begging Disney to let him retire for like 5 years. Number 1, time travel. The biggest theory that seems to be on every fan site is people talking about time travel. In the trailer, we see flashbacks from different Avengers. At the end of Infinity War, we see Thanos walking out on what looks to be Titan, but it's been rejuvenated. Or he traveled back in time to before it was destroyed. The quantum technology that was revealed in Ant-Man and Wasp is said to be the key to time travel. That with quantum technology, someone could travel through time only using their thoughts of the past. See how things are starting to link up? There's also a chance that Tony Stark will use quantum tech combined with his BARF technology to create paths directly into people's memories. The Russo brothers themselves have even said that BARF technology will be key in Avengers Endgame. Number 10. Thanos isn't dead. The Purple King of Death and Destruction met his match in Avengers Endgame, but that doesn't mean he's gone forever. Many people think he'll make a comeback. Now, I'm not saying he's gonna be in the next Avengers movie. I mean, I don't even know if there's gonna be another Avengers movie. Well, Endgame made $1.2 billion in its first weekend, so there'll for sure be another Avengers movie. But as the franchise moves on, there's a chance that we will see Thanos again. The big theory is that for the brief moment that Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet on, he moved his consciousness into another body. When the power of the stone surged through his body, the Time Stone gave him a quick glimpse into the future. He knew he was going to die, so he used the stones for the few moments he had them to transfer his mind into another body. So somewhere out there in the universe, there's a version of Thanos waiting to take his revenge. Nebula is under Thanos' control. In Avengers Endgame, we end up with 2 Nebulas from different time periods in the same place. One who is the Nebula we have grown to love, becoming a pseudo-member of the Guardians. The other who is a past version of herself who is still loyal to Thanos. Now the good Nebula is captured and Thanos looks through all her memories. So he would have known that it's actually Gamora who betrays him first, and then in the future Gamora and Nebula team up against him. If you haven't seen the movies, this is probably very confusing. And why are you watching this video? But what if he reprogrammed the future good Nebula to act as a sleeper agent? So in the event that he did lose the fight with the Avengers, he had a spy working with them in their ranks who could finish his plan. Number 8. Death will resurrect Thanos. If you're familiar with the comic books, you know that Thanos' motivation for wanting to wipe out half the universe is very different. He doesn't care about overpopulation or bringing balance to the universe, he's in love. In the comics, Thanos wants to collect the Infinity Stones so he can kill half the universe to impress Mistress Death, who is the personification of death in the Marvel Universe. Someone should tell Thanos that there's such a thing as coming on too strong. Well, there's a chance that this could play into the movies. Maybe now that Thanos is dead, he'll meet Death, they'll get close, and she'll be like, I only want to be with guys who are serious. And he'll be like, babe, I'm serious. She'll bring him back to life in order to receive trillions of souls in return. A pretty good deal. Number 7. Thanos won by default. Something that was brought up in Avengers Endgame is that if you remove something from its timeline, it creates a split separate timeline, unless that item is returned to its timeline from the exact moment it was removed. Time travel rules vary from movie to movie. In Looper, your past self directly affects your current self. In the butterfly effect, the smallest change of the past can drastically affect the future, and in Back to the Future, you might make out with your mom. But in Avengers, you can fix timelines. However, at the end of Endgame, there were a few things that were removed that never returned to their timeline, like Thanos himself and his entire army. How many split timelines will that create? Enough to shake the very foundation of reality and cause all existence to be wiped out? Maybe. We'll probably find out in 4 years when Avengers 5 comes out. 6. Thanos was working with the Skrulls. In the recent Marvel movie Captain Marvel, we see the Skrulls introduced as an enemy, and then later the reveal that they were actually the good guys this whole time. But in the comics, the Skrulls were traditionally evil. So it could be that there are more Skrulls out in the MCU who have been in allegiance with the Mad Titan this whole time. They want nothing more than to bring back their homeworld. And who better to do that than the guy who wants to collect the stones that hold the universe together? It would also set up the Skrull invasion very nicely. Maybe after the Skrulls see that Thanos was defeated and that some of Earth's mightiest heroes died in the process, it could be time to send in the troops and take over planet C-53. Number 5. Thanos has corrupted Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. He can fly, he has super strength, he can control cosmic energy, and he is even immortal because death can never claim his soul. He is also in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you saw the scene after the credits during Guardians of the Galaxy 2, you saw his little intro scene. Now with a character that powerful hanging around the universe, maybe Thanos made a stop before he went to the garden to destroy the stones. A big fan theory is that Thanos met with Adam Warlock and corrupted his mind. This way, he could have one of the most powerful people in the universe on his side if anything went down. This could be the motivation for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. An evil Adam Warlock would be a lot to handle. Number 4. Thanos is the hero. After Avengers Infinity War, I was definitely thinking that this guy's supposed to be the bad guy. But I kinda get where he's coming from. Thanos' goal is to save the universe. He wants life to thrive for everyone if everyone's willing to make a sacrifice. He's even willing to sacrifice the only thing he loves, Gamora, in order to complete his goal. Maybe he's the good guy in all this. Deep down in his heart, he believes he's doing the right thing. At the very least, you have to agree that he earned every last stone. And he's got to be one of the most positive guys in the universe. When he finds out his plan has failed in Avengers Endgame and he's forced to fight the Avengers again, he says, "I'm thankful, because now I know what I must do." This guy for sure has a gratitude practice. I bet he meditates and listens to Tony Robbins. I gotta say, even after Endgame, I'm still kinda on Team Thanos. Number 3. Thanos will be in the next Deadpool movie. Now that Deadpool is going to be in the MCU, there's a chance that Thanos will get a little screen time in the future. As we've already covered in the comic books, Thanos is in love with death. Something that also happens in the comic books is death falls in love with Deadpool. Now with the Deadpool movies sticking to the theme of the comic books and constantly breaking the fourth wall, and with Josh Brolin being both Cable in Deadpool 2 and Thanos, and with Deadpool making numerous jokes about the crossover, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little Thanos cameo in an upcoming Deadpool movie. It would be pretty funny to have Deadpool face to face with Thanos being like, "Didn't I steal your girlfriend?" Number 2. Thanos resurrected villains. With the snap that ended half the life in the MCU, there's a chance that the MCU is changed forever. There's a chance that Thanos might have brought back some of the villains that had died in the MCU, or has introduced new ones. His goal was to see life thrive in the new universe. In order to do that, he might have brought some like-minded people along. This could instantly introduce some major villains into the Marvel movies like Doctor Doom. Now that Disney has the rights back for the Fantastic Four, they will for sure be working on some sort of movie. I mean, you don't spend $71.3 billion on Fox's properties just to put them on a shelf. And frankly, I would love to see characters like the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom just introduced into the MCU. I don't want another Origin Fantastic Four movie. Who needs a third Origin Fantastic Four movie? Number 1. Thanos planned everything. We all know that scene from Avengers Infinity War where Doctor Strange says he looks through 14,605 realities and there was only one where they win. Well, what if Thanos did the same thing? After getting all the stones, what if the Mad Titan looked through those timelines as well and saw one where the Avengers won, but also one that plays into his hand? There's a chance that Thanos is still one step ahead of Earth's mightiest heroes. Maybe he saw that there was no way to defeat them at full power, but he knew that if he let the Avengers think they had won, that a few of them would be dead and he would be able to return and finish the job. This actually makes a lot of sense. Thanos is one of the best tacticians out there. It doesn't make a lot of sense that he wouldn't use the stones for anything else other than destroying the stones. Someone like him always has a backup plan.